Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chad with CD Shave, and thank you very much for joining me for today's head shave and product profiling. We're going to do a sample and a shave, and today we're going to do Central Texas Mr. Pepper. This is a sample I've had for a little while. I got a chance to try it. I've been wanting to try it for a little while. Don't currently see it available on their website for Central Texas, but they do. It is something that is reoccurring, and they tend to have regularly, just not currently. Anyway, so Central Texas soaps, they are this is a vegan base. It's Mr. Pepper. It's based off the soft drink Dr. Pepper, which I happen to like quite a bit. So if you happen to like that, I would definitely recommend checking this out. That's what it looks like right there. Nothing very impressive, just a standard shave soap. It's pretty standard consistency. It's not what I would consider soft, but it's it's not like a triple milled or anything. Scent strength is actually pretty light. I give it about a 4 or 5, but it definitely has that reminiscent of Dr. Pepper. Before we get into anything else, let's talk about the holiday of the day. Take a break there and go right into the holiday of the day. Today is National G.I. Joe Day. If you were a child of the 80s, male, female, it does not matter. You have to know about G.I. Joe. I had tons of those figures, tons of the vehicles, the weapons. You know how the weapons, they really didn't fit into the hands. They kind of, held them across the body like this. You never really could hold it this way. But I think the figures are different now, but back then the thumbs didn't move, and you put the weapons in and they would just kind of hang down this way. But they were so cool. They had the bodies could move, the knees could, they were awesome. They were the coolest figures. You could attach parachutes to them, chuck them out of trees. They get stuck in the tree, stay up there for 3 years till you're finally old enough to cut it down. Anyway, so those of you that were G.I. Joe fans, favorite memories of G.I. Joe in comment section below. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the rest of the gear before we get back into the soap. We're going to be shaving with Gillette's Fat Boy right here. This is kind of a hat tipping to Anthony Esposito, the stallion. He said the other day, I don't know why anybody doesn't really use the Slim or the Fat Boy anymore. I still got mine, and I still use it. So here it is. We're going to go ahead and use it on camera today. We're going to load it up with a Perma-Sharp blade on its first use for those of you that care. We are bowl lathering. We're going to be going with our Wolf Whiskers group brush. This is from the Shave Market right there with a synthetic knot. Now, I do not have the aftershave to this. So I'm going to match it with, this isn't really a match, but Blue Gier. I was kind of feeling this today by Katie's Bubbles. I know there's cherry in Dr. Pepper. That was really the closest thing I had that I could match it to, which isn't even really a match. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a light scented soap. I'm not even going to smell it on me anyway when I'm done shaving. So really it's all about the scent of the aftershave. So that's what we're going to go with. Blue Gier. Can't go wrong with Katie's Bubbles. Alright, so we've got our bowl here. We're going to smash the sample into that. We'll talk a little bit more about the soap and get into our topic of the shave. And we'll see you guys in a minute. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. All lathered, ready to go. Definitely maintains the same type of scent after it's lathered, and scent strength is still the same. So this scent for me is nothing crazy. I mean, it's more of a fun scent. It's nothing really to write home about. It's not like you're going to smell it and go, wow. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much you like Dr. Pepper, but it's not something that I smell and I think, wow, my God, this is the greatest stuff in the world. I can't wait to smell like this all day. It's more just a novelty for me. However, I think it's fun to have fun scents. I have a couple scents in my shave den that I've gotten not necessarily because I want to smell like them, but just because they bring back memories. And that's something you want to try to remember. Scent is not just about how you smell necessarily. Sometimes it's about memories. It brings back things that you used to, maybe you used to drink Dr. Pepper with your grandfather or something like that, and this brings back that type of memory, and it's something that you just want to help just make your experience with shaving that much better. That's something to majorly consider when you talk about scent. Ask yourself, oh, do I want to smell like this? Or, hey, does this bring back a memory for me? Anyway, so just throwing that out there. As far as the performance is concerned on Central Texas, I found that their soaps are definitely decent. I wouldn't consider them top tier. They shave or they lather quite nicely. They produce a pretty voluminous lather, as you can see. I didn't use that big of a sample out of that. I still have plenty left in there for a couple of shaves. I've been using it for a while. I've found that the performance is pretty decent. If you're wanting to try Central Texas and you're wondering, geez, I don't know how the performance is going to be, I wouldn't worry about that. The initial slickness is pretty on par. My razor glides over my head without any problems at all. Just being very careful back there. I got an area that I tend to nick if I'm not careful. So initial slickness is on par for me. It definitely, the razor glides. As far as the residual slickness, it's there. It's not crazy. Are there better products out there or products that have more residual slickness? Yes. Does it get the job done? Yes. And does that mean that you shouldn't buy this because the residual slickness isn't absolutely outstanding? No. This is a fun soap to try. This particular scent. As far as this brand is concerned, I plan on trying one of their other soaps. I think, although there's not a ton of residual slickness there, there's some, and residual slickness for me is important. All right, now let's talk about, when we do the next pass or two, a little something else that I like to call blade storage. I've had some people that I've talked to recently, and just throughout the conversation, I'm not criticizing, but as we were talking, it kind of came out that they store their blades in their razors. So when they're done with their razor, they put it aside, and they shave every day, and they leave the blade right in there. And when I first started wet shaving, I did the same thing. I would loosen up the doors on these, and or the top caps, and I would make them very, very rattly and loose, and I would store it thinking that would be fine. I've had a couple of blades rust out on me doing that because I rotate through razors. Even if you don't rotate through razors and you use the same razor every day, I do not recommend leaving the blade inside the razor. You're just asking for problems. And I think that by doing that, yes, you can rust the blade, and who cares, because you can just, toss the blade and put in another one. That's very true. However, it would really suck if some of that oxidation or rust found its way onto your nice, pretty, restored, whatever razor that you're using, right? So I would strongly suggest, if you're a new wet shaver, to think about blade storage and where could you store your blades safely out of harm's way in between shaves. And I do not recommend putting them inside the razor or leaving them inside the razor itself. I kind of went above and beyond, and I had this made for me a while back. I call it the Blade Barn. I've got my wife and I both use this. These are magnets, and I stick the blades onto there, and we've got dice that indicate how many uses we've got out of each blade. I use different blades for different things. If I'm shaving, tomorrow after I just did this shave today, because I got somewhere to be or whatever, I'm not going to use a super aggressive blade. I'm going to use something like, a Persona Red or something like that. If I haven't shaved my head in a couple of days, time got away from me or what have you, and I've got a ton of growth on there and I'm looking for a super aggressive shave, I usually bust out a feather. And that's what I use. I drop the feather in one of the beast heads or the mule R41 or something to that effect and go nuts that way. So I would just think about that. When you're starting to wet shave, make sure you're putting those blades in a real safe area. And when by safe, I don't necessarily mean inside. We'll go with a third pass on camera here. I don't necessarily mean inside the razor. Those magnets that I got, you can get them on Amazon, and you could literally, I would recommend looking around your bathroom. There's got to be a pipe or something up a hinge or something like that you can attach the magnitude, and you could simply just pop your blade on that, and it's going to be out of harm's way. No, you know, especially if it's up high, and you don't have to worry about it that way. So anyway, that's my little public service announcement as far as blade storage is concerned today. All right, so yeah, residual slickness is definitely not tons there, but it's working well. The lather stability, which is also important to me. I don't like it when you get to your second pass and you look down and the lather's drying out and stuff like that. Sometimes this can do that. If you add enough water to it, it won't. But I've noticed, especially, I mean, it might have something to do with the fact that it's been very, very dry lately around here, you know, with this New England heat, meaning the New England heat, like the forced hot air, because it's just so dry around here in the house that that could be why. But sometimes I've noticed it tends to, you can start to see it's drying out a little bit. It's not a huge deal. You just pop a little bit of water into that and it'll be fine. But if you add enough water to it, which I really didn't in the beginning, it doesn't do that. So anyway. All right. So we're gonna clean up our shave here. I think that's what we're gonna call it. It's pretty slick. We'll do one more pass off camera. We're gonna clean up this mess here, and then we'll talk about the rest of the soap here in the post shave. See you guys in a bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. We're going to throw a little bit of Thayer's Witch Hazel on. It's mixing all kinds of scents today. As you can see, DOP status. Dome of perfection, no nicks, cuts, areas of irritation, smooth as glass. Perfect. All right, we'll let that sit in there. So my evaluation of Central Texas soaps is, yeah, they're decent. They're not top tier, but they're nice shave soap. If you want to try something different, give them a shot. I highly recommend them. The only lacking, I would say, is probably in the residual slickness, but not the worst thing in the world. Just something you just have to prepare yourself for ahead of time. Having said that, a nice solid aftershave, it's not a bad thing. Katie's Bubbles, you cannot go wrong with. Especially this stuff. Oh yeah, real nice. Alright, so again, Mr. Pepper, if you're a Dr. Pepper fan, or you were at one point, I highly recommend this. This definitely is reminiscent of that. I think they nailed it as far as the scent is concerned. It's a little light. I would like to see it a little bit heavier because it's, again, it's one of those fun scents, so it's something I really want to smell, not necessarily because I want to smell like Dr. Pepper. However, it just kind of brings me back. So, yeah, actually, it does make me think of my childhood a little bit. So, anyway, so that is the shave. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chad with CD Shaving. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've tried these guys and you have any comments on this soap or any of their soaps, please put it in the comment section below. Remember, favorite G.I. Joe memories, if any, also in the comments section below. And I got a couple other samples. Also got another giveaway coming up soon. Coming up, we're going to be doing a razor review. We're going to be giving away another razor. So stay with the channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Make sure you knock that bell. That way you get a notification every time we do a new video here at CD Shaving. Folks, I am Chad. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you guys and girls in the next video.